Now, a couple of months ago, we told you about the launch of a new trial in the climate change trial Reservoir, where Brabant Water from the Netherlands are piloting the use of dynamic resonance imaging, or DRI, for mains pipeline condition assessments. Well, that trial has finished and it was a complete success. DRI was applied across 2 kilometres of Brabant Water pipelines with lots of comprehensive key performance indicators that were all there to check that the DRI process was working.
As promised during Water Action Platform number 79, we're back with an update on the Trial Reservoir project with KenWave at the Brabant Water facilities in the Netherlands. First, a quick reminder of the KenWave technology. DRI is a non-disruptive and non-invasive solution that provides condition assessment and leak data by converting vibrations and acoustics into imagery. This gives a holistic understanding of pipeline conditions and helps asset owners, operators, and managers make informed decisions about operations, risk management, and budget planning. Brabant Water was eager to find a technology they could structurally embed in their decision-making process for pipeline renewal. The Trial Reservoir provided a collaborative platform for Brabant Water and KenWave, starting with the definition of clear and straightforward KPIs to measure the trial's success. Now let's hear more from Roel Diemel, Senior Asset Manager Infrastructure at Brabant Water, and Sébastien Perrier, Senior Director of Technology at KenWave.
So we're here today with Sébastien Perrier. He's Senior Director of Technology at KenWave, and we're here with Roel Diemel, who is Senior Asset Management of Infrastructure in Drinking Water. Thank you both so much for being here today. Very nice to see you both again. First question to Roel. Do you consider that the Trial Reservoir project program has facilitated the trial executions? And if so, in what way did it facilitate?
I came up with the Trial Reservoir just on the right moment, gave Brabant Water the opportunity. Also the push to go ahead with exploring the DRI from KenWave. Doing a test trial with a company overseas is normally quite a challenge, but became a well thought and planned collaboration by doing this by a Trial Reservoir.
So for the Trial Reservoir, we normally develop some KPIs, some success KPIs. How did the trial KPIs facilitate?
Yeah, Brabant Water had it in the past, also other trials, but not with KPIs or less KPIs, and no obligations. And I think in this trial, the success was that at forehand we knew what kind of success we wanted to do afterwards, a continuation of the trial. And that way the KPIs were seriously thought through and made it also possible to do afterwards a continuation of the trial to more measurements in future.
Great. Sébastien, what would be the most important or the most significant outcome for you from this trial?
Yeah, I think that would be twofold. The main outcome from KenWave perspective would be the successful validation of the technology, specifically for asbestos cement pipe. And then obviously the direct application of the successful validation is the adoption by the technology by Brabant Water.
Mm-hmm. Was the support from the Trial Reservoir of importance from a more technical perspective for you?
Yes, absolutely. And the Trial Reservoir, so on the aspect of it first de-risked the funding. So that's a really important aspect, allows to focus on the technical component. And then it sets clear expectation and rigorous performance validation for both Brabant Water and KenWave. So we're making sure that we're fully aligned. Right. And then we have that collaborative environment. That was the most important. I think that's what transparent from the project is the collaboration. We feel like we're working as a team.
How important were the KPIs for you in this entire process?
Oh, they were central. the trial success. That's where we spent, aside of being like aligned first on the expectations of the technology, understanding the needs from Brabant Water, the KPIs were central to make like clear performance metrics, making sure that we're like technically aligned. They're like objective criteria, remove the subjectivity, making sure that they can be like calculated. And then, we align beforehand, we align the expectations and we discuss through. So then when the project is executed, then it's clear what everyone has to do, what is expected. And then we make sure that we have all the information to meet all those criteria, and happy that we were successful all together.
Perfect. So, from an operational perspective, how is the KenWave technology going to change your way of working from now on?
The KenWave technology makes it possible to measure without interrupting the water supply. And that is for us very interesting to do more measurements without any costs and customer complaints or a lack of service. So it's very important for Brabant Water to know more about our mains. In a service level that is positive for our clients.
Mm-hmm. And what if you could give any utility operator a recommendation when they start a Trial Reservoir program or project? What would that be?
When you are serious about a new method and you think it through about how it can be implemented, then you're seriously about how it's be structured in your processes, and that is very interesting to do with a trial reservoir. So not only trying, but also think about structural implementing those new methods in your processes.
Yes, Sebastian, if you would engage in another trial reservoir in the future, what would you do, or what would you like to see done differently?
I think overall, that was really an effective approach. There was a few checkpoints that were really, really crucial into the execution of the project. So in terms of improvement, I think you're already high value delivery on the program. Maybe greater customization and agility for expanded scope of work, potentially, or earlier stakeholder engagement adoption of the technology. But otherwise, no, that was highly effective. The de-risk by the funding, the collaborative platform that it offers, and the specific criteria, all of these together, I think makes that program really, really effective.
That sounds really good. It was such a pleasure for me specifically at ISLE to work with you. It has been a great success. Also, I think both a success for Brabant Water, very interesting success also for KenWave. And I wish you all the luck for the future. And of course, I hope to see you all very, very soon again in any of these very interesting projects. Thank you so much.
As Vo and Sebastian shared, all KPIs were achieved, and the trial was a clear success. The open, collaborative approach was key to this outcome and has laid a strong foundation for future cooperation. It seems this is only the start of a promising and long-term journey together. Thank you for listening, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Vanessa, Roel and Sebastian. Now, as we've heard, the trial met all of its KPIs, which means that Brabant Water are now implementing DRI across their networks, starting with another 12-kilometre section of pipeline. The primary savings come from avoiding unnecessary physical work and use of resources. Firstly, there was reduced civils works. It's non-invasive and everything's above ground without needing to enter the pipe. Secondly, it's optimizing the pipe replacement process. Instead of replacement decisions being based on age or statistical models, which can lead to the replacement of entire sections, DRI identifies only those specific pipes or segments that are structurally weak. This prevents a huge carbon footprint associated with manufacturing, transporting, or installing kilometres of unnecessary pipe. And thirdly, it was the prevention of emergency repairs. Catastrophic failures require emergency responses, and this is obviously highly carbon intensive. And finally, there's the benefit of reduced water loss. Leaks waste water that's already been treated and pumped, both of which are energy intensive. Now, by preventing the leaks before they happen, Brabant Water has saved energy and the associated carbon emissions from water production and distribution. So well done to the team at Brabant Water, and well done to KenWave.